Yep, good evening. As introduced, we're here to talk about the economic development element, fun to say, of the comprehensive plan. Thank you. We start each one of these conversations the same way with a review of the comprehensive planning process. We all know that the City Council and staff in the room are very familiar with these slides, so thank you for your patience while we ensure that those at home are on the same page as those in the room. What is the comprehensive plan? It's a 20-year development plan for the city. So how will the city absorb forecasted growth in the next 20-year planning period, including how will we accommodate housing, the environment, transportation, city services, and other topics. Our local comprehensive plan needs to conform to many layers of jurisdictional authority over our comprehensive planning process. And that starts with the Washington State Growth Management Act. City staff coordinates with the Department of Commerce to ensure that our local comprehensive plan conforms to GMA. Secondly, we plan regionally with the Puget Sound Regional Council, or PSRC, that's composed of King, Kitsap, Snohomish, and Pierce counties, and they have a guiding document called Vision 2050 that has goals and policies that each one of those jurisdictions needs to abide by, including our local comprehensive plan. The Kitsap Regional Coordinating Council, or KRCC, that consists of all jurisdictions within Kitsap County, and they have a document called the County-Wide Planning Policies, which also has goals and policies that our local comprehensive plan must conform to. Ultimately, this is an exercise that demonstrates how the city can absorb forecasted growth. So we're estimated to get an increase of population to just under 64,000 persons by the year 2044, which represents a 46% increase, and just about 58,000 jobs, which represents an increase of about 32%. So the city of Bremerton is regionally significant. The Puget Sound Regional Council has designated the city as a metropolitan city. It's the only metropolitan city in Kitsap County, and our peers would be the city of Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma, and Everett. We have two regional centers that are recognized by PSRC for regional significance, one being the Manufacturing Industrial Center that's out by the Bremerton Airport, and secondly, our Downtown Regional Center. Now, both of these geographic areas are regionally important for absorbing forecasted jobs and population growth for the Puget Sound. Our growth strategy is here's an illustrated version up here of this map. Any area that you see that has some color to it is proposed to have some sort of development increase with our comp plan update. The only place that we're increasing density would be the Downtown Regional Center. And these dashed black circles that you see up here on the screen, those represent high capacity transit stations that will occur in the future. Those are identified in the Kitsap Transit Long Range Plan, and essentially that means that you're guaranteed a bus every 15 minutes or less from the downtown transit center by the ferry up to the brand new transit center up in Silverdale. There's a more in-depth description of our growth strategy available in a video on Bremerton2044.com. I know everyone can't come to these meetings, so each one of our city council meetings for the comprehensive plan is posted on Bremerton2044.com with the help of BCAT, including a video on what are the root causes of homelessness and what can we do here locally to affect that through our comprehensive planning process. That video is only 8 minutes long. We recommend everybody watch that as well. Online available now, you'll find Council District Digests. So this breaks down how your neighborhood, your council district, how the comprehensive plan will affect your area. So there's a Council District Digest for each of the 7 districts in the city of Bremerton. And there's also flyers available for district meetings where you can come and meet your city council member and provide comments on how this comprehensive plan will affect your district. The City Council review process for milestones is up here on the screen. The City Council's reviewed the vision, goals, policies, and growth strategy, the land use element, housing element, and tonight the economic development element. So moving on to the actual economic development element, the topics that we have here for discussion, we'll talk about the vision of economic development, the adopted growth targets that we have for the city and Kitsap County, our Downtown Regional Center market study, Puget Sound Industrial Center market study, and our draft environmental impact statement alternatives. Just to let the City Council and folks at home know that we have done outreach to the business community. We've coordinated with the Kitsap Economic Development Alliance, Greater Kitsap Chamber of Commerce, Kitsap Building Association, Kitsap County Association of Realtors, Port of Bremerton, Downtown Bremerton Association, Charleston Business District, Minette Business Association, and we have sent a postcard advertising the DEIS to every business located in city limits so that everybody is informed. So the vision of our economic development element, brought to you by PSRC and Vision 2050. So the regional economic vision is that in the year 2050, the region has a prospering and sustainable regional economy by supporting businesses and job creation, investing in all people and their health, sustaining environmental quality, and creating great central places, diverse community, and high quality of life. Our local vision for economic development is that as the only metropolitan city within Kitsap County, Bremerton expects to substantially expand employment and job variety over the next 20 years to support a growing economy and lifestyle diversity within the region. Moving on to those growth targets for the city and the remainder of Kitsap County. You'll see here up on the screen, this is from the Kitsap Regional Coordinating Council. This is adopted growth targets that are included in those county-wide planning policies. And this includes the 2020 employment status for each one of those jurisdictions and urban growth areas, the amount that that jurisdiction will grow by 2044, and the overall 2044 employment target. And you'll see here, once again, the city is forecasted to grow by over 14,000 jobs by the year 2044. Now, how does that compare to the remainder of Kitsap jurisdictions? Well, the city of Bremerton is slated to grow the most. Our increase would be about 32% of overall employment. And next in line there would be the Silverdale UGA, which is forecasted to increase by 26% of overall employment. Moving on to market studies. So the city, whenever we're making a large change to our comprehensive plan or our zoning categories, usually that's accompanied by a market study. And we've done some of those in the past that you may remember. The Harrison Heights, formerly known as the Eastside Employment Center, had a market study accomplished in 2019, and that eventually led to a new sub-area plan being adopted in 2022. Once again, based off of market conditions studied at the time. The Charleston Area-Wide Planning Study, or CAPS plan, was published in 2020, and that led to comprehensive plan amendments and zoning code changes in 2021. So we find that market assessments can identify opportunities and barriers to redevelopment and inform potential zoning changes, and that has occurred with this comprehensive plan update as well. So we have two market studies, one of those being for the Downtown Regional Center, and that's available on Bremerton2044.com. There's links to that in the council packet. And the zoning changes that are proposed from for this comprehensive plan update stem from this market study. And there are a number of interesting factoids contained in that market study. We have a few for you tonight. And one is that the Bremerton Downtown Regional Center was fairly flat for development from the year 2007 till about 2015. There was a great period of development prior to 2007 where downtown expanded greatly, but after that it was fairly stagnant until about 2015, which is about when the Spyglass Apartments came online. And then you get an uptick in that multifamily residential development square footage ever since then, leading to that dramatic increase around 2023, which would be Marina Square. So we have more than doubled the square footage of our multifamily residential structures downtown since that about 2015, 2016 timeline. But the remainder of office and retail square footage has remained somewhat stagnant. But the good news for that is that as we do increase that population downtown, and that population needs goods and services, that we expect that those empty storefronts at some point will start backfilling with uses and services for the community as that multifamily residential develops going forward. Another interesting component to our downtown regional centers is the type of retail that we have. Over 50% of our downtown regional center contains storefront buildings. So that means that it's either in a mixed-use building or it is a structure connected to another structure, which is a more walkable, urban, dense community than you might expect from our counterparts at Kitsap County, where the majority of their structures are freestanding commercials, which you might associate more with an auto-centric development pattern, big box type of businesses. They'll cut this out later, it's fine. I know. So just a reminder for those folks at home, and to reiterate, we are planning district council meetings, and there are flyers available online where you have the opportunity to meet with your city council representative and have the comprehensive plan broken down on a district by district basis. So we will, that's happening right now in the month of November, and it coincides with our draft environmental impact statement comment period. So that comment period started on October 18th and it closes on December 2nd. So we're having a great outreach push right now to make sure that everybody is informed. So please check out, once again, Bremerton44.com, 2044.com. So as I was saying earlier, the Downtown Regional Center Market Study, the proposed changes for downtown stem from that market study. And that market study will need to be updated in the near future. There are some changes in job numbers and activity units for the Naval Base Kitsap that need to be incorporated into that market study. You'll see up here on the map, Naval Base Kitsap is actually included in our downtown regional center. So if you look at the exact geography from PSRC, it also includes Naval Base Kitsap. That market study also suggests that we adopt displacement mitigation measures. As this development happens in the future, it could lead to displacement, so there should be mitigation to account for that. And it also advocates that this, or recommends that the city advocate for Kitsap Transit high-capacity transit service in the future. Our second market study would be the Puget Sound Industrial Center market study. And this is required for PSRC. Our manufacturing industrial center status needs to meet PSRC benchmarks And currently, we are failing to do that in one key area. Every manufacturing industrial center is required to have a minimum of 4,000 jobs, and currently the city does not meet that benchmark. So we performed this market study to demonstrate how we will meet that benchmark in the future and retain that status. Why do we care? One, we have the regional responsibility for absorbing jobs, but two, we also have additional grant opportunities for transportation infrastructure from PSRC because we have this designation. So key findings from that market study is that the existing PSIC jobs, that we have just about 1,700 jobs inside of PSIC, or a little over 2,700 jobs if you include jobs based in PSIC, but the work might occur elsewhere. They recommend that Naval Base Kitsap evaluate PSIC for potential expansion opportunities, particularly during the SIOP process. And there are some suggested development guidelines. Our market study staff met with property owners and businesses in the Puget Sound Industrial Center, and they were asked on how we could improve that sub-area plan. We are taking those proposed changes from those property owners and incorporating them into the downtown sub-area plan with this comprehensive plan update. And that we should prioritize and fund infrastructure expansion at PSIC. We are failing to meet that benchmark in jobs, and a primary indicator of that is the lack of infrastructure, primarily sewer and water, inside of the sub area. So I know that our wastewater staff are updating the wastewater comp plan right now, and they are evaluating several different ways to get sewer service to PSIC with this comprehensive plan update. Moving on, Naval Base Kitsap. So you'll see up here on the screen some of our peers that have federal employment located in their communities. Very recognizable names like Washington, D.C., Norfolk, Honolulu. And this graph represents the share of overall federal employment for those locations. And you can see that Kitsap County, even amongst our peers, the percentage of federal employment is far greater in our community than in our peer communities that also host military, high levels of federal employment, which we are just over at 22% of market share there. And that's likely not going to change with the SIOP process that's currently going on at Naval Base Kitsap. The Shipyard Infrastructure Optimization Program, you can see here on the map, there are some areas that indicate new construction projects at Naval Base Kitsap, whether that's a new pier or a new building, or even a new dry dock. There's a proposed multi-mission dry dock that would house a new kind of aircraft carrier and submarine. And in order to support SIOP, the Navy has asked for leasing at least 10,000 square feet of new office space, over 250,000 square feet of warehouse space. In March of 23, nearly $50 million contract was awarded for the design of the new multi-mission dry dock. And just last month, a $145 million contract was awarded for electrical upgrades that will run through 2029. There aren't cost estimates for the new multi-mission dry dock at this time, but a much more modest new dry dock that's being constructed at Pearl Harbor, the estimated cost of that is $3.4 billion, which is expected to create 2,500 local jobs through their infrastructure optimization process. So moving on to our draft environmental impact statement alternatives. Our DEIS is available at bremerton2044.com if you'd like to look through that document. And our alternatives, you'll see here in this graph, alternative 1 is existing conditions. So what is our zoning code today and what jobs would that produce? Alternative 2 is our centers-based approach. And alternative 3 is a citywide growth pattern. Now, if you This is a zone-by-zone analysis of jobs that could be added through 2044. And at the bottom, you'll see that each one of these alternatives has a surplus of jobs. Unlike housing, where Alternative 1 produced a deficit in housing for our existing zoning, Alternative 1, 2, and 3 each provide a surplus of jobs through 2044. And the differences between these alternatives, you'll see here in bullets on the left, that the Bay Vista sub-area plan proposes to have a current exclusively commercial zone transition to a mixed-use zone. So you'll see that there is an actual drop in the number of jobs in Bay Vista for alternatives 2 and 3 because there is some residential being added to that area while retaining some commercial. And then also in the Puget Sound Industrial Center for Alternative 3, there is a proposal to have a mixed-use overlay for a parcel, which would take away from the number of jobs but add residential into the industrial center. And I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you. Always love your presentations. Mr. Jackson, I just want to establish that no action's being taken by council tonight, but this is an opportunity for the public to ask questions. We already had our chance at the study session last week. So are there any members of the public that have any questions on the comprehensive plan economic development element? I just wanted to say it because it sounded fun. So, and we're going to kind of enforce the 3-minute rule loosely, but still 3 minutes, because I know there's going to be a little bit of back and forth, but we need to figure out how to give you equal time as everybody else for public comment. Go right ahead.
Before the 3 minutes, can I just clarify, can I ask more than one question? And if I ask a question that has a yes or no answer, can I ask a follow-up?
Yes, so we, how do you feel about, are we able to stop the clock when she's, okay, let's do that. Thank you so much. And your name for public record, and please continue. Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Naomi Levine. I just had a couple of questions on slide 22 about how it was decided what types of businesses were on it. So my yes or no question that needs a follow-up before I can ask my last question is it only for-profit businesses that are listed as part of the regional center market study, or is there also like a look at non-profit businesses? Like libraries, they're not on the list.
Okay, so pause the clock. And Mr. Jackson, do you have an answer for that? Take turns at the mic. Thank you.
Sorry, that's no trouble. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd be happy to take a closer look. I get your contact information. We can circle back around. Okay.
And then probably this will be a thing we'll follow up on later, but I just wanted to know about grocery stores, because we've got convenience stores, fast food, and restaurants, but no grocery stores. And I know there's grocery stores in Kitsap County, but I know that's been a long discussion about downtown regional center and just downtown everywhere about grocery stores. So yeah, that was my other question. And then just a suggestion on slide 21, if you could label the vertical axis, that would be really helpful. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, did you get all that? Oh, I like that. Thank you, Mr. Riley. I know. I love that. Come on down. He gets more than 3 minutes, by the way.
So in terms of grocery stores, just first and foremost, every time that someone says there isn't a grocery store, the community co-op gets really offended. I just wanted to make that comment. We do have a grocery store downtown. As far as scale is concerned, a larger grocery store, that is something that has been lobbied for in memoriam, and that we've always been hoping for that tipping point of population where we'll have a captive population enough downtown that will support a market, will support the market of creating a grocery market downtown. So it's something that we've all been waiting for. As population increases, we hope for that grocery store, but it is a market-based decision that is out of our control. We also have transit options, which could take you potentially to the Safeway on Callow. so which is fairly short distance from downtown, so something also to consider.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment on these items? Okay, going once, going twice.